welcome to the Happy Handyman Show. I'm Trudy Chook. We're broadcasting live from Johnny Chook's Home and Hardware. We're also live streaming on Facebook right now, so if you want to go to Facebook and watch that later, it's under Johnny Chook's Home and Hardware, and you'll find us out there. We also have a YouTube channel, and if you go out to YouTube, just put in Johnny Chook's Home and Hardware, and this show will be the first one that pops up. And then all the shows afterwards, we post them all out there. So if you ever miss one or you want to go back and take a look at some history of some products, then you can go out there and look. But right now, we are live. And let me tell you where the store is located. We're at 2361 Northwest Military Highway, which is super easy to find. We're just right off of Loop 410. You go in about 2 miles, and there's a light at Lock Hill. And when you go past the light at Lock Hill, Selma, you'll see a shopping center on the right-hand side, and it'll say Johnny Chook's Home and Hardware. It's a pretty big shopping center, and we're kind of in the middle of it. The store is going to be open today till 6:30. We open today, 8 to 6:30. We're like that Monday through Saturday. But then on Sunday, for your convenience, we are 11 to 5. So if you're like people like me that just have to work, you know, pretty much 6 or 7 days a week, then if you have off on Sunday, come on in and we'll help you with any project you got going on around the house. And we'll show you what to do, we'll show you what product to use and how to get it done. And then we'll be here in case you have a problem. And listen, I've got really qualified people. That I know everybody says that I've got really qualified people, but we do here. And what's nice about them, and it's part of the training, is that they care about your project. So when you come in and you bring something that's broken in your hands and you say, hey, I need to put this back together, they know it's important to you, and so it's important to them. If you want to call the store today, the number is 210-341-1573. All right, so today's going to be a special show, but before I get into it, I want to tell you some of the events that we have coming up this month. We always have events, usually at least 2 every month, and this time we're going to have a Paint Your Own Mini. Now, if y'all are not familiar with Nora Fleming and the minis that go on top of them, we're going to have an event where it's Paint Your Own Mini. And if Jill's not going to talk about that at the half hour, then I'm going to bring it up here for her, because you'll need to sign up for this. And some people have already signed up, so we have limited spaces. But it is so much fun, especially if you want to bring somebody that you enjoy doing stuff with, like maybe if it's your daughter or your BF, bring them, or your sister. Maybe it's 2 sisters, and it's a Christmas kind of thing, so we're calling it Christmas in July. And then this is a first for us. We're going to have a teacher's appreciation weekend, and it's going to run the 30th through September 1st. How many of y'all are educators? I was an educator. I taught for about 3 years before Dad talked me into coming and working for him. And let me tell you, I don't want to say that things were real different for teachers back then, but they were real different for teachers back then. And sometimes it's really tough as being an educator these days. My sister stayed in education, and she told me a lot of stuff that, you know, you had to go through. And I was grateful that I made a career choice, but my heart really goes out to people that are teaching and the job that they do, because it's not always easy. And so come on in, because we would like to celebrate you. And we're going to have some special gifts. We're going to have special pricing if you're an educator. And it's just going to be a fun time. I'll tell you more about it next week. So I told you this was going to be a special show, and it is. about twice during the year, I like to get stuff together and tell you they're my favorites. Okay, we have a whole store here, and we've got, I don't know, maybe 50,000 items, give or take 1,000. And there's some of them that we love them, but then there's some of them that are really near and dear to me because they do a good job, always. They are a good price, and there's always a story that goes with them. So I want to tell you first about some of the new ones that I really like, okay? And I'm going to go through probably about 35 products in this next hour. So if you're driving right now, don't try to take notes or anything like that. Just go back to our YouTube channel on and then our Facebook and look at it then, but it's easier to look on YouTube. All right, so I guess it was in March when I went to the Do It Best show. I always like to go through the cleaning aisles and stuff like that because cleaning is at this store is big, mainly because we have a lot of rental properties around here, a lot of apartments, and so things that people that live in apartments are not the same that they want as far as people that own homes. But there's one thing that stands between both of them, and that is cleaning. Everybody has to clean your house. Everybody has to clean your apartment. So most people keep a trash can in the house, like in the kitchen and in the bathroom and things like that. I don't. I have never been a person that liked to have a trash can inside the house. But if I did, I tell you, I would have these trash bags. And I'm not a person that likes to tout like big groups, you know. This is made by Glad, and it's called a Force Flex Max Strength. They call it a leaf guard. I don't know why they call it a leaf guard, but they're tall kitchen bags, okay? They're a 13-gallon, which is most size, like if you buy a trash can, it's a 13-gallon. But let me tell you, they smell so good. They smell like flowers. They call them a fresh air. So if I was going to have a trash can inside my house, I would definitely use these trash can liners, especially like if you put things in your trash that stink. Like I don't use the garbage disposal that much. Everything goes in my garbage can because I don't like to use my disposal that much because I've had problems with it. And so if you are like that, this should be the trash can liner that you get. This is a really nice trash can, and it ties up at the top, and we have plenty in stock, okay? I love this. All right, now we're gonna really switch gears and we're gonna talk about tools. How many of you have a universal socket set? And it'll have both the standard and the metric. And then it'll have your socket, and it'll have if it's a good one, it'll have an extension so you can get into deep areas. And they're heavy, okay? They're just heavy. I mean, if you have a whole socket set, they're heavy. And you can't just carry one or two because the other one that you're not carrying will be the one that you need. And so there is a tool that we have, and I remember when Dad found it so many years ago. I mean, we had this at the lumberyards, and we haven't had the lumberyards open in 18 years. It's called a Gator Grip Universal Socket, and it is a socket, okay? And I mean, a socket set, and it has an extension on it, and it has this socket that is full of like little pins. I know when you look at this, you're gonna go, oh yeah. And it keeps you from having to keep all these different sockets. Okay, so as a person that doesn't like to keep all these kind of sockets because I just don't use them that much, okay, this is perfect. It's one tool, okay, that can handle anywhere from a 1/4 inch, okay, all the way up to a 3/4 inch. So like if y'all are watching on Facebook, this whole side of this socket set that weighs a lot, this weighs a lot, could be covered with one tool that you could either put in the car or put in the toolbox, and then it would be everything that you need. And Dad just thought this was so cool. I mean, it's just, it's a great gift. Okay, like if you were trying to get a gift for somebody that maybe just bought a house, or they like to do yard work and stuff like that, this is a great gift. Absolutely. And it's called a Gator Grip. Really good product. Okay, let me tell you our phone number again. 210-341-1573. Now we're gonna switch gears again. I probably could have put these in some kind of order, but I was putting together last night. Fresh Cube. What is Fresh Cube? Fresh Cube is a deal that you put in your refrigerator. They come 2 to a box, and they help keep your produce fresher longer, like a whole lot longer. All right, so we have a kitchen area, and we have every kind of kitchen gadget, and we have carried all those things like bags and mats and things to go in your refrigerator to help your produce stay fresher longer, okay? Because it's like this domino effect. You buy it, and if you're like me, sometimes you don't always cut it up and you can't use it right away, because sometimes I'm working here late and I get home and I may not cook. I may just have something that I already prepared, and I'll forget to use my vegetables, or I'll forget to use or not eat some fruit or something like that. And then before you know it, it goes bad. It goes bad so quick. But I was at a Do It Best show, and I went by the Fresh Cube aisle, a table, okay, and I saw it. I went, oh, okay, that looks good, you know. But just like I told you, I had fallen for everything as far as things that people said would work, and I just saw that they worked so. I didn't think that they worked that great, and I had a Do It Best rep for the whole cleaning area. Okay, she was in charge of this whole cleaning area, and they never will kind of tell you like, oh, this is the best, or this, especially like if they're in front of the inventor. And she leaned into me and she said, Trudy, I know you do that radio show. This product is great. And I turned and I looked at her and I said, really? She goes, yeah, it's really good. So I bought it and I brought it home and I tried it first. And believe it or not, I had strawberries that lasted 2 weeks. Now, I know some of you say, well, my fruit doesn't last that long because I eat it. But this Fresh Cube is a great product. And I have a boatload of them here because I don't like to run out. But this is a great gift to give somebody with a brand new house, or like if you're sending your kids off to school and they have a little mini fridge, tell them to put it in their little mini fridge. It's really good. You get 2 of them for like $24.99, I think. And lots of times when I get a new one, I give one to my mom because she doesn't think to do that. All right. Libman Tear-In Wipe. These are microfiber, machine washable towels, okay? And they come on like almost like a paper towel holder. There are, I think there are 15. Yes, there's 15 count on a roll. And there's a lot of things that I love about these. One thing, I love how they're packaged. the package has got a little hole in the top. Okay, well, in my garage, I put it on a hook in my garage, and it stays like this. It doesn't get dirty on the bottom. There's always one there that I can pick up. These things are so great. Yes, they are a microfiber. Are they a super high quality microfiber like E-cloth? No, okay? These are microfibers that, since the way that they are built, they have a tendency to grab things almost like magnetically, okay? And you can use these since they're so inexpensive. Okay, there's 15, I think, for $7.99. You can wash them, okay? Let them dry, use them again. Don't put them in the dryer. I just think it's best not to put these things in the dryer. And then use them again. I use them for my messy jobs, okay? So like if I am cleaning my sink with a stainless steel cleaner, if I am wiping down my stove, if I am doing painting work, I sometimes put them in with my lunch if I'm gonna have something kind of messy, because they're soft enough to where you could, you know, pat your face with them and stuff like that. These things are awesome. This should be something that you keep in your house because they're so great because they're reusable. And you're not using, I'm not saying paper towels aren't important because I have those too, but paper towels have their place, and then Libman Tear and Wipe is perfect. You can reuse it. All right, I want to talk to you about cleaning your stainless steel. Yesterday, Jill and I went to my house. We do videos all the time here. Last week I took a little break and I could tell it made a difference. And so we just have to constantly be doing stuff on social media. It's just a thing now. You can gripe about it, you can complain about it, and if there's anybody that's a retailer, you know what I'm talking about. The bottom line is this social media is here to stay. And so we were doing videos at my house because I wanted to show people, okay, the products that I talk about, this is how I use them at my house. So Sheila Shine is a stainless steel cleaner. It was originally made for boats out on salt water because they all have stainless steel on them because they don't rust, all right? And this stuff is tough enough to be able to handle the elements, yet it puts a beautiful shine and protection on stainless steel. So why not have it at your house? Now, there is a little bit of a propellant smell when you spray it. That doesn't bother me, and it dissipates like super quick. So where do you use this? Do you have a stainless steel refrigerator? Do you have a stainless steel front on your dishwasher? Do you have stainless steel anyplace else? It is, it's only the sun shines brighter. That's because, and your sink, I love to use it in my sink. Most stainless steel cleaners, they are just a real oily, okay? And Sheila Shine is not. And I like to use it with my Libman Tear and Wipe because I can rinse it out afterwards and reuse it. And I have to tell you, I pretty much keep the same one to work with my Sheila Shine, and I'll just drape it over there. But it will take off the fingerprints off your refrigerator, the water spots off the front of your dishwasher. It will leave your sink looking so good if you have a stainless steel sink, whether you have a great quality stainless steel sink or just a mediocre quality stainless steel, because stainless steel comes in a lot of differences, okay, depending on how much you pay for it. But I just have a mediocre one, and it makes my sink look so good, but it's not oily, okay? And then the nice part about this is it leaves a protective finish. Most of the time when you're talking about stainless steel cleaner, they will polish it up, okay? But then there's nothing left for protection. And Sheila Shine is Haggerty 100 metal polish. This stuff is amazing, and I'll tell you why. It has an R22 tarnish preventative in it. So what does that mean? That means when you clean something up, it doesn't tarnish again right away. It's a long time, I would say a year, before you would ever have to do anything again. I had somebody bring me a spoon the other day, and it had brown spots all over it. They had left it in something that was acidic, and then it just really marred the finish. Well, I told them, I said, I think that Haggerty 100 will work for you. And they said, well, it seems like a whole lot to buy. I said, leave the spoon with me. So I left the spoon with me because I keep this at my house, and I used a little bit on it, and they came back the next day and I showed it. They couldn't believe it. It looked like a brand new spoon. It looked better than when they brought it in. So what's the story about Haggerty 100? Haggerty, let's see how much time I have. Okay, plenty of time. All right, there used to be a product called All Gleam. All Gleam was a metal polish, and it had a preventative in it, a tarnish preventative in it, that you could polish stuff up and then it would not tarnish. And then there was another product called All Gleam that was a spray that you could use over it, and they worked together, okay? They would hold hands together. And one time, we were buying that, and I can't remember the man's name, and he sold the product. He told me he was going to sell it, and he sold it to another guy that lived in Florida, and but before he died, and he sold this product to this guy before he died. Okay, I already gave that away. And the guy that bought did not get the formula. He bought all the product that he had, and so he had a lot of product, but once it was gone, it was gone. And he told me, he says, I had taken this stuff everywhere to try to see if I can find out the formula, and I can't find it. They couldn't find the formula. He probably kept it in his head, and so we were without a metal polish that did not have a tarnish preventative in it. And so one day when I was at a Do It Best show, I was going past the Haggerty booth, and he was polishing pennies. And that's back when pennies were a thing, right? And he was polishing them, and they looked beautiful. And I said, what are you using? Haggerty 100. And he told me all about the preventative. And that's why we have Haggerty 100. All right, I hope you enjoy these stories, because I got a bunch left to go. You've been listening to the Happy Handyman Show, but only on WAI, and Jill is next.
Good morning, Facebook friends. Hope y'all are having a great morning. Real quick, I want to share with you something if you didn't already know, or maybe you just need the reminder. We're doing the Nora Fleming Paint Your Own Mini event again. It's Christmas in July. It's not too late to sign up for that. We have 4 different slots starting next week. So if you want a little fun activity to do with your friends or family or whoever, just come on in, find out more information, and sign up for that. Now, I want to share with you some restocks. Everything, well, not everything, but several things that we've got in that we've had and maybe been out of for a little while. The Reminder Nail Polish. This is a really pretty special line that we found last time we were in market, and we just fully restocked it. They've got a few that are for your nail care, but most of them are nail polish colors. And what is really special about this is the creator really wanted it to be non-toxic, no chemicals, and so she found her own solution to that. But the most important part is the beautiful names. Here you see Worthy and Redeemed. Those are new. This one is also new. It's called Strengthen. They all come with a little card that has a Bible verse, and then on the back side it has a QR code. You scan that, and while you're putting on your nail polish, you can read a devotional and then listen to a whole worship playlist that is centered around that theme. So your nails get to serve as a reminder. So that is one of our favorite things here, and we just fully restocked that display. I think we've got about 16 or 18 colors to choose from, as well as the ones that are like the top coats. Next up, everyone's favorite little golden books. Our display is nice and full. You guys love these so much. They're $5.99. They've got all your favorite classics from when you were growing up, the Gingerbread Man, the Sailor Dog, lots of other classics. They also have a lot of new ones. This one is My Little Golden Book about country music. It goes all the way from Charlie Pride to Reba McEntire, all the new stuff. It's fun little book. Toy Story 5. This is, you know, as you know, if you have kids or grandkids, it's a brand new movie. So you've got classics on up to new stuff. And those are just so much fun. Great little reads. I want to show you this one in particular. It is a fill-in keepsake book. So your little one can either write in it or you can help them write in it all about them. Things that they like, what they are like at this age. They can draw pictures in it. It'll become a little keepsake for them or their parents or grandparents along the way, and you can read it for years to come. Next up, DK Designs. If you love interchangeable things like Nora Fleming or switch mats, DK Designs is a fun outdoor, it's meant for outdoor, it's UV created, but you can hang it anywhere on your door, and it changes out, the little minis. So this one comes with a little house. Oh, and we got new styles. This one's a brand new style. We've got this cute one with polka dots, and you get the mini it comes with, but then you can change them out. The board is $52.99. All the minis are $18.99. We just fully restocked. We've got summer, Christmas, all these interests, you name it. There's some really cute ones for back to school, which I know it's not here yet, but it's coming soon. New baby. We even brought in all the holidays and seasons, so you can buy them right now. Christmas and fall, and look, even mahjong tiles. So this is a great little way to decorate your front door and change it out for the seasons. Or if you are a teacher or know someone who is, look how cute. Welcome to our class, nice, bright, and colorful. You can have this on your classroom door and then have fun. How fun your kids would be to see that changed out every season. Speaking of teachers, heads up, if you are a teacher or know someone who is, make sure you're signed up for our emails. We're going to do our very first ever teacher appreciation event. It's going to be July 30th, 31st, and August 1st. That's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're still planning it, but there's going to be lots of free gifts and raffles and sales, all for teachers. So please keep an eye out on that and share it with any teacher friends you may know. Lastly, cooling sleep shirts. Who here has seen these in our store? And it's always been few and far between. We brought it in and they would only come in a couple at a time, and then they would sell out real fast. Now we just fully restocked. They were finally all available. We have just about every size and color. It is a fabulous cooling material, and I don't know how it works, but just having it on makes you instantly feel cooler. So if you are someone or know someone who gets hot easily, this is the perfect thing. They're nice and long, so you can just lounge around the house with them. They come in 4 different colors: small, medium, large, and extra large. So come on in and shop with us this weekend and enjoy the rest of your show with Trudy and Kale.
And are we welcome back? Welcome back to the Happy Handyman Show, only on WOAI. One day I need to tell y'all, you know, Karen was saying right before we came onto the show that we're good friends. We are good friends. And I will have to tell y'all the story why I am on WOAI, because it didn't just happen, okay? It was orchestrated, okay? And I'll just leave it at that. But Karen and I are very good friends. And another good friend of mine that I have here that I also get to work with is Kale.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm
Great.
good. You're good?
Yep,
Okay,
we're
and
all
Kale
good.
is... We're all good. Are you good? We're good. We're all good. Okay. Kale is in charge of our lawn and garden department, but Kale is also a plumber, and that's why I asked you to come work for us, because plumbing problems always happen on the weekend, and my plumber, and David is he's a master plumber. Yeah.
He's my sensei. That's what I like to call him.
And he don't work all weekends, you know, that's pretty much it. And so then Kale started working with us, and I said, well, I want you to do plumbing, but you also have inherited lawn and garden.
Yes, I have.
And so today he does trivia for us. And I've told y'all before that he knows so much trivia. And I think it's because he was with his dad a lot, and we talked about your dad a few weeks ago. And so today you told me you're going to tell us something very interesting.
Yeah, you know, this time of year, we've got a lot of people come in, and they've got a lot of wasp problems. They're building nests everywhere.
Yes.
You know, and people tend to vilify them because, yes, they do have a painful sting, but they are also a very important part of our ecosystem.
Okay.
They go after a lot of insects that go after your garden. Caterpillars, flies, aphids. There are over 30,000 species of wasps. The only continent that does not have any wasps, Antarctica. That's the only place where you won't find them. And they're very diverse. You've got the giant Asian hornet that has a wingspan of over 3 inches. And yeah, 3 inches.
Okay,
Can you imagine something like that coming after you?
No. Duck and cover.
Yeah.
Like we used to do in elementary school. Duck and cover.
Yes. But there's also one that's actually smaller than a single cell amoeba.
Really?
Yeah, I gave up trying to pronounce the Latin name. I was like, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. It's a long name. But there are also very important pollinators. Everybody, when they think of pollinators, everybody thinks honeybees, but wasps do the same thing. And much like mosquitoes, only the females sting.
See, I thought that was so.
Yes.
I bet you that's a thing with a lot of things.
Yeah, it
that
could be.
Sting and bite. I bet it's the females.
It's their stinger is actually a modified, what they call an ovipositor. It's an egg-laying tube, and it's actually a modified one. But like I said, they do a lot of pollination. In fact, there's some figs that they only get pollinated by fig wasps.
Really?
And that's the only ones that do it.
So, in other words, if they're not bothering you,
Yeah, if they're not bothered, if you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone.
they'll leave you alone.
But I know sometimes they're like right outside the door.
Yeah, like at my house.
Yeah.
I opened the door and that thing was hanging like a fist by my front door.
And you know, after you get rid of them, you do need to get rid of that nest too, because other wasps will move in and say, "Hey, a house." You
They
know?
go condos.
Yeah, exactly.
Condos are already built.
So like I said, they are a very important part of our ecosystem, even if we have run-ins with them.
Even if we have bad attitude about them.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So I'll leave that one that's on my back fence alone.
Yeah, if it's out of the way, just leave it alone.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll leave it alone.
All right then.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Trudy.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Thank you for the information.
No problem.
It's very good.
Thank you.
And so, you know, if you have something going on in lawn and garden, he has learned so much. And you know, we listened to David beforehand, so what, you know, if David gives some information. In fact, you know, when your Saturday starts, start it with a lawn and garden show and play all the way through us. Okay. All right. So another couple of things. Okay, we're doing this show on favorites, new and old, and the stories that go with them. Okay. So one of my favorite new products is, of course, it's mine, Trudy's Headlight Magician. And this is a headlight cleaner. This is not something that you have to sand. You have to remove the finish on the headlight and then put a new finish on, because those things will work. Okay, they work, but gosh, they're so labor intensive. And then once you do that to your headlight, it's thoroughly damaged. I mean, there's no going back. It might look good for a couple of years, but then that's it. All right, so Headlight Magician restores your headlight. When I go and clean headlights for people that come in here and I say, here, let me just let me show you what it's going to do for you. They are like blown away that all this stuff comes off the headlight. And it does because of the different cleaners that are inside this. And Trudy's Headlight Magician is a product that if you want to come in today, I'll be happy to show what it looks like on your headlight. But you can also go out to happyhandyman.com, and there'll be a banner there, and it says click here to buy Trudy's Headlight Magician. And I hope I'm saying this right. And you click there and it takes you right to the site for Headlight Magician. And we're getting ready to start doing some major Facebook advertising with this. So you should start seeing this on a live feed. Now, what is another thing that is near and dear to my heart? It's our book, okay? And we are on volume 14. And my dad started writing books many, many years ago. And the first book was only, I think, about 36 pages long. And now we're up to like 142 pages in a book. I have written the last 3, but I had my dad's book to go from. And it's all these things that you need information as far as maintenance around the house. And I'll just give you a little part of it. On page 84, it talks about how to take care of floors, because floors are a huge thing with people. Wood floors, a lot of people, it's very popular. Carpet's not a thing anymore. I mean, very rarely do you see people that want carpet in their home. They want a solid surface on the floor, whether that means tile, laminate, solid wood, and how do you clean them? Because if they're wood and you don't keep them clean, they get surface scratches on them. Because the stuff that you carry in on your shoes, like just dirt or whatever, you would think, oh, it's just dirt, okay? It acts like sandpaper to wood floors, and it'll give you surface scratches. And so on page 84, it tells you how to take care of it. And the book is a great book. This book was, I also put like a lot of pictures of like my family in here, like the pictures of my grandfather and my grandmother, and my dad and my mom on their wedding day, and then me and dad at the downtown store. I was 6 and he was 30. Who would have known, right? Okay, so if you need a good gift, you come by and get a book. It comes with a bookmark, okay? All right, so now, I was just talking to you about floors. So what do you use on floors? Super simple. Yesterday, like I said, we were at the house and I was doing videos. So take a look, because we're going to do a video on floors. First thing you want to do, if you have wood floors, you want to use a floor mop or pad, okay, that will get up dust, okay? And you're going to vacuum all that away. Then once the floor is completely clean from any kind of dust particles, you're going to use a Quick Shine multi-surface floor cleaner. Multi-surface because you can use it on hardwood, vinyl plaque, tile, laminate, pretty much anything, Satio tile, anything. And it's, you can use it in a spray mop if you want to, but all you really need is a mop pad, like a microfiber mop pad. Bona makes them. Bona makes a real nice one. I'm not a big fan of Bona products, but their mop and mop pads are really good. Quick Shine just doesn't go into it that much. They're mainly focusing on their product. And then you clean. And then you take that pad and you rinse it out. And then you use a completely separate pad to use on the floor for the Quick Shine, which I like to use the Floor Luster because my floors are newer. My old floors at the older house were parquet, and that parquet had not been taken care of, and so it looked the best with a high shine. And Quick Shine has a green bottle that will give you a high shine, and it's beautiful, okay? But the hardwood floor luster is what I like to use on my floors now. And it gives it a soft glow. But the best thing about it, it gives you protection. And you can put one coat on and you'll have immediate soft glow, or you can put 5 coats on and have even more protection. And that's what I like to do. And then once you put on the 5 coats, when you go back and put on 1 coat, it's like you did all 5 all over again. And I just want to say hi to Vicky. She put a little note out here on Facebook. She says, always look forward to seeing your dad in the store. Yeah, that was great. Now we love your Saturday show and the great information. Well, aren't you sweet, Vicky? Thank you so much. And that we love doing this show. And not everybody gets to do a radio show. So we love doing this show. All right, so I had a friend that loved her recliner. And it was a leather recliner. And my friend loved to read. And so that girl could read like 3 books a day. And so her and the recliner were like one. And she said that unfortunately, like the oils in your skin and in your hair and stuff would leave like a white cast on the leather, and it was just body oils. And so she looked up online. She went to Amazon trying to find a cleaner, and she came across one made by Howard's. Well, Howard's, I have all Howard's stuff here, but mainly I thought of it as for wood. Well, lo and behold, Howard's has made a leather cleaner. This stuff is amazing. And she called me and she says, Trudy, you need to get this product in your store. I bought it from Amazon, but you need to call Howard's and get this in your store. This cleaner, it made my chair look brand new. And I said, really? Because I'd seen that chair. And she said, yes. It looks so good. It removed all the spots on my leather. I said, okay. So I checked in with Howard's, and they say, yeah, we've got a great leather cleaner. We hadn't talked to you about that? No, you hadn't talked to me about that. And then they said, we want you to also get leather salve. I said, okay, I'll try it out. So leather salve is a jar that, it just kind of looks like wax, right? Doesn't have much of a smell or fragrance. But let me tell you, this stuff is gold. My mom came to me one day, and she came to me, she goes, something's wrong with the leather chairs in my office. I said, okay, what's wrong with them? They've got marks all on the back of them, and I don't know what happened. And I need, what can I do to clean them? And I went in there, and sure enough, they were all white on these maroon chairs. And I said, what did you clean this with? And she very innocently says, Windex. Windex on leather? Well, I just wanted to get the dust off. Okay, Windex is for glass, not for leather. So I went and I got, they were already clean because Mom had Windexed them to death. And I went and got the Howard's leather salve, and I did the back of a chair, and it restored that chair to the beautiful color, the maroon color that it was. They looked like new again. But I only did half of the other chair, not to remind Mom, but to show people how well this product works. And it works. So if you have leather sofa, leather chairs, if you have a leather purse, leather shoes, boots, if you have saddles, if you have leather hats, anything that's leather, the Howard's leather cleaner and leather salve, they're great. And they will restore them to their original beauty. All right. How many of you, okay, we had a lot of rain, and we're supposed to get some more rain. It was supposed to rain here at 9 o'clock. Said so. I can believe the weatherman, right? And so a lot of people might have some wood around the house, like maybe if you have a patio or the framework around, we all have framework around the doors, okay? And if it gets soft enough, it will start to disintegrate and decay. And you don't want that. But then you also don't want to have to replace the whole thing. So what do? Minwax wood hardener, okay? Minwax wood hardener is a liquid, and what it does, it's a solvent. It goes down in the wood, and as it dries, it leaves all these wood fibers in its place. So you're actually strengthening all that rotted wood. And the most important thing, if you don't hear anything else about these two products, is this: do not take out any rotted wood. Leave it there, okay? Because if you pull it out, you're just going to have to use more and more wood dough. But every YouTube video I look at, they all, what are they telling you to do? Dig out all the rotted wood. You don't have to, okay? Because that is the foundation for the wood hardener, okay? Which my dad had told me, do not dig out any rotted wood. Well, I was replacing some wood around the garage door. You see it a lot down there. The rain hits the bottom on that concrete, splashes up on the wood, and then you get rotted wood there. And it happens like about the last 3 inches of the frame. It also happens on the garage door. If you have wooden garage doors that are absolutely beautiful, mine are metal. And he told me, whatever you do, don't dig out the rotted wood. Well, I guess I forgot that part. And not only did I dig it out, I vacuumed it out. And so he laughed at me. He said, still use the Minwax wood hardener. And then, of course, I had to use almost a whole can of wood filler. Okay, so fast forward to the house in Oak Meadow that I owned. And they were putting in new windows, and the guy that was installing called me and he said, Trudy, you're gonna have to replace all the wood around the frame of this one picture window because I had a sprinkler that hit it, and unbeknownst to me, because there was foliage in front of it, it had caused some rot in that frame. He goes, you're gonna have to replace all that because before we can do the windows. And I said, hang on just a minute. I said, let me come over and use the Minwax wood hardener and then the wood putty, and you just get back to that window in 2 days. So I went home, treated the area, and it did have some soft spots in it. This time I listened to my dad. I did not dig anything out, filled it, and in 24 hours, it was as hard. I know y'all can't hear me knocking, but I'm knocking on the wood table that I'm doing the show from, and it was that hard. That hard. It was completely fine. So I told him, I said, you can go back and look at that front window now. And he called me and he said, Trudy, what did you use on this stuff? He says, you just saved yourself about $1,500. And that was, gosh, 15, 18 years ago, right? And so now it would cost $5,000. And I told him it was a Minwax wood hardener. He says, I'm coming by your store today and I'm going to keep that in my truck from now on. And that's how well this product works, okay? Saved me thousands. All right, one day when the National Hardware Show was a thing, and it was a really good thing, I was at the show. It was one of the first shows I had to go to by myself without my dad. And so I was trying to find a wonderful product, because that's why we went to the National Hardware Show, because to find these things that no one else had, and like the big box stores. because they don't move on things as quick as like a small hardware store can. I mean, if I want to bring something in, all it takes is a phone call, and in 5 days it's here. They can't move that fast. I can. And so when I went past this one little booth, it has these 2 young girls in it, and they're showing this rain going down or water going down a shower door, okay, a glass shower door. And it's showing on one side where it's completely stained with hard water, and on the other side how it's clear and how the water is just sheeting off of it. Well, I had, before I left, cleaned my doors, and so it was a major pain. And I knew that since I didn't have soft water, within weeks it would be cloudy again. Well, we brought in this product that they talked about, and these girls were so informative, and they were part of the Rain-X family, and so that's how this started. It's invisible shield. Once you clean your glass shower doors, there is a protective glass and surface coating, okay, that you put on your glass shower doors. You put 2 coats on, kind of smells like rubbing alcohol. And then whenever you clean, you use their cleaner, glass and surface cleaner, and this one reinforces the original glass protectant that you put in, and you're looking at not having any spots on your shower doors for almost a year. Now, I'm not going to say a whole year, because here we have some serious hard water, okay? But I'm telling you, at least 6 months before you're having to clean like that again. And especially if you squeegee stuff off, it just doesn't spot up anymore. This protective coating that you put on there works so well. And it was, I would have never seen it if I hadn't gone to the National Hardware Show. Okay, now I want to show you something that I use all the time. And this is a kitchen product, so I know this is not hardware. But No Stick makes a crisper, an oven crisper basket. It's this basket that's got this black kind of screening on it. It looks like screening, and I like to use it in my oven. They say it's kind of like having an air fryer in your oven. Not really, but it is really nice because the heat goes all the way around whatever you're cooking. Like if you're reheating pizza, I use it to reheat stuff in. Reheating pizza, reheating a baked potato, reheating all kinds of stuff. Another thing that's really good, the other day I cooked tons of stuff on my Traeger grill, brought it inside the house. I needed for it to cool. I used it as a cover over all the meats and chicken, turkey, everything. And it kept it all nice in case a fly snuck into my house. Yeah. All right, let me tell you where we're located. We're at 2361 Northwest Military Highway. Store's going to be open to 6:30 today. The phone number is 210-341-1573. Come by the store today if you have any question about all these products that I've talked about today. I'd love to share you some more. You take care. See you next week.